What's up, gang? Welcome to Authentic Alphas. It's your host, Ayindei, and I'm here with this lovely woman. What is your name?
Advi.
Okay, where are you from? How old are you? And are you single, married, dating?
I am 40. I'm Mediterranean. I was born in Albania and I was raised in Greece. And I am single.
Okay, so do you know what we're going to talk about?
I have a tiny little
idea? Okay, I'm going to ambush you. All right, so let's start right out of the gate. So, why are you single?
By choice at this
I
point.
knew that was coming.
Predictable.
All right, so go ahead. Tell your side of it.
Actually, I used to be happily married for a very long time, many years.
How long is many years?
14 years together. And it was very good while it lasted. Then I've been single for the past 7 years.
Wow, 7 years. 7 years by choice.
Between that, I did have a relationship, and that ended, and that's all. I think living in Miami is a little different too.
Oh, so you're gonna blame it on location? No.
The zip code has to do a lot.
Yeah, that's what women do. They always blame it on some outside factor. It's never the woman. So who filed for divorce? You or the husband?
We both came down to understanding that it had to
mutual.
come to an end. Yeah.
You took his shit or he took your shit? How did the divorce settlement go?
By choice, I walked out with only my personal belongings. I thought with my heart, and at the moment I thought this is the right thing to
Wow,
do.
lucky guy. Did he own property?
Yes.
Wow, he's fucking lucky. Children or no?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So, explain this by choice thing, because women, it's ridiculous that you can actually predict how women are going to answer questions, yet they claim to be so unique. So why is it that you describe it as by choice? What does that even mean?
Well, I do have many people approach me, as I think most women do. But I know exactly, I guess, what I really want at this point in my life. And if I don't see that, then I'm perfectly comfortable on my own.
Okay.
So I choose to rather not have a title or be single on my own rather than settle for anything less than I'm looking for.
Okay. So let me explain to you why I learned absolutely nothing there, because I already knew you were going to say all of what you said. But the good news is that you're going to learn something. Okay. So
I hope so.
what that is right there, what women are doing when they have that logic that you just had, and they have that train of thought, and it brings them to, I'm single by choice. Okay, what that is you're making your necessity a virtue, or at least attempting to. So saying that you're single by choice is a way for women to deflect from the fact that they're not attracting men of the quality that they want, which clearly means that there's a disproportion in the expectation and standards that these women have. It's that simple. You can't be in the market for a car, or you can't not have a car, and then when someone says, hey, you live in a city where you need a car, why don't you have a car? Oh, I don't have a car by choice. Oh, so you don't want a car? No, I want a car. But every time I go look at cars, I can't afford any of the cars that I want. And all the cars that I can't afford, I don't want those. Those aren't good enough for me. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well,
so that's not the same as not having a car by choice. Not having a car by choice are like the wealthy people that live in Manhattan, and they choose not to get a car because it just isn't worth it. They'll rather just have their private driver. They'll rather just be picked up and dropped off everywhere they need to go in a luxury vehicle, a Phantom or a Rolls Royce, a Maybach, and that'll be the end of that. That's not having a car by choice. Okay? Women being 22 years old and wanting to party every weekend, including Thursday, who decided Thursday was part of the weekend. Young girls that want to party every day of the week. So yeah, those girls are single by choice because they have plenty of wealthy, tall, handsome guys that want to lock them down, secure them, and isolate them exclusively to themselves. And they're like, oh no, I'm gonna go have all this fun, and I'm gonna accept all these gifts and favors and attention from multiple guys rather than limit myself to resources from one guy. That's single by choice, right? So this is what women are doing, and the reason why I'm confronting it is because it's not doing you or any other women that do it a service. You're not doing yourself a service by saying, oh no, I'm single by choice, when really what you mean is, guys hit on me every day, but none of these guys are good enough for me for some reason. Unfortunately, that's not how markets work, okay?
Also, I'm looking for something really natural and organic. And maybe I will again mention that because I do think that it has a lot to do with where you live, and not only me, but with what I do for a living. I meet a lot of women of different levels of financial status or education,
which means nothing.
What,
Go ahead. That
they
means
almost
nothing.
have the same story.
No.
to say
They have the
that.
same story, and that is why you should have already been able to tell by now that it obviously has nothing to do with that. So again, I'm going to help you here. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. This is going to be the most informative conversation you've had in 7 years, probably longer. So these women are all making the same mistake as you. They're thinking that, oh, I have education, I make so much money, so I'm a catch. So us all being single means that we're not the problem, ladies. It's the problem is the men aren't good enough for us. They're not on our level. No, that's absolutely not what that proves. What that proves is that these women are the problem because you're literally expecting a result with a strategy that's proven not to work by all of your peers. So another correction is women keep on saying, "I'm looking for." Are you? Are you really? Sounds to me
That's
like,
a good question.
Hold on. Sounds to me like you're not looking for shit. You're not going anywhere where the men that you want would be. You're not even moving to the city where there would be a higher abundance of those guys. You're doing absolutely nothing to obtain said guy. But yet women use this type of terminology, which is very, very, very dangerous because there's a lot of power in words. So that's why I always correct people when they misphrase things, because I know for a fact that words are extremely powerful. They're how things become material. This is how we manifest reality. It's through what we think, which becomes what we say, which becomes what is. So when women go around using words improperly, they're going to get the wrong results because you're not even saying it properly. The reality is you're not looking for jack shit. You're not actively looking or working for anything.
That's correct.
I'll tell you when a woman's working. A woman's working when she's getting ready to break up with her boyfriend or divorce her husband, and all of a sudden she starts hitting that fucking treadmill and she starts dieting and she starts getting in shape. That's when she's actively doing something to get a man. The fucked up part is she didn't do that to keep her husband or to honor her husband or to give her husband the best version of herself. She literally was willing to put in an effort to replace her husband. But she wasn't willing to put in that effort with her husband, yet I guarantee that same woman thinks that her husband isn't good enough for her and that he's not doing enough. Really? When you have it in you to get in shape, but yet you won't do it for your family. You won't do it for your husband, but you'll do it to go find a fuckboy. You'll do it to go find some other guy that you think is better than your husband. Flawed thinking, right? So all of these women that have their career and have their education but are single, like you say, do you know what they have? They have exactly what they were looking for. They have exactly what they were working for. A career. You worked for a career. Guess what you have, bitch? A career. You worked for an education. Guess what you have, bitch? An education. Did you work for a man? Oh, I ain't working for no man. Okay, time out. Before you give me all that bullshit you about to say, that's why you don't have a man. Because you weren't looking for or working for that. You weren't sacrificing for that. But you worked for, looked for, and sacrificed for education and career. And that's what you have. So pat yourself on the back with your diploma and your little weird square hat and just be happy with that and the cat. The hat and the cat. Be happy with that. Because that's what you looked for, worked for, and sacrificed for. It's really not that fucking complicated. Like when people ask me, how did you get in such good shape? It's like, really, you really asking me that question? Because the question isn't how did I get in shape? The question is how did I obtain the discipline, the self-discipline? That's what the question is that you need to be asking me. Why is it that I'm more disciplined than you? Because if you need me to explain to you that eating healthy and eating less calories than you burn is gonna maintain a low body fat, if I have to explain to you that lifting weights builds muscle, like, do I really have to explain that to you? So again, this is people using words incorrectly. Because you say, how do you look like that? You know how. You know how, right? So you don't go up to someone that's wealthy and say, hey man, how did you become a millionaire? Hard work, sacrifice, and consistency, you can become like a millionaire doing almost anything. It's just how much discipline, how much work are you willing to put in? So I think we need to stop asking stupid questions and using words incorrectly, right? And we'll get a lot further. These women are just going around in circles because they refuse to blame themselves for anything. They go around in circles because they keep looking outward for explanation. I'm single because of the zip code. I'm single because of my job. I'm single because of guys today. I'm single. Okay, at what point are you going to say, I am this because of me? At what point in time are you going to say that? When a woman's overweight, it's, oh, well, it's genetic, and oh, it's this, and oh, it's this. It's
no,
like,
absolutely
no,
not.
it's not. Exactly, it's your choices.
Yeah, true. I'm not I am perfectly happy on my own. I'm pretty independent, and I want to meet someone? Yes. Do I really need someone to add into my life? You know, and at any point.
Choose your words carefully. Go ahead.
So probably I'm not out there actively. I'm not shopping for a relationship or so. You know, if anything, and I do meet somebody that will bring or add up into my life, I welcome that. Other than that, I'm perfectly fine on my own. So when I say by choice, that's what I really mean. That
no, you don't. You absolutely don't. When you say that you would want someone, so like that's what I'm saying. That the two can't coexist. You can't say that I'm hungry by choice, but I want to eat something. You cannot. It doesn't make any sense. You can't say I'm hungry by choice and then say, yeah, I want to eat, but none of these restaurants are good enough for me. I don't want McDonald's. I don't want Wendy's. I don't want this. I don't want that, because I have standards, and I want something organic, like how you said, and I want something that's going to be a tall order, and I want something that's going to be high value. Okay, now this is what happens. If you stay hungry long enough, you're going to eat those cold ass chicken nuggets. Now the question is, if you're going to end up settling way down here anyway, doesn't it make a little bit more sense that you settle a little bit earlier for something a little bit better, so that you don't end up having to settle for what's the worst possible option? Because that's what's happening. You're driving by restaurants, and as you're driving, the restaurants are getting worse and worse and worse quality, but you're getting hungrier and hungrier. And when you finally do say, fuck it, let's just go to this Wendy's, guess what? You're already past a Chick-fil-A, you're already past a Chipotle's, you're already past a P.F. Chang's, you're already past a bunch of shit that was better than Wendy's, but because you were too picky and entitled, you waited until you're starving, and now you're eating ramen noodles. So this is what I'm saying. This is what women are doing to themselves. I personally don't give a fuck, because we're both 40. So I could do this shit all day. I could do this shit all day. You see what I'm saying? The thing is that women can't. They can't. And unfortunately for them, this career that they built and spent so much time investing in, and this education, it's yet to keep them happy. And I don't know why is it that men have already figured this out simply from listening to women and observing women, but yet women haven't figured this out, and you listen to and observe each other all day, every fucking day. That's all women do, is listen to other women, and you still haven't realized that this chick owns property. This chick has her business. This chick makes X amount of money a year. This chick has an education. This chick is fucking miserable. You haven't realized that none of that is working for her, none of that's keeping her happy. But I guarantee you, if you give all of that to a guy, I don't care if he's 20, I don't care if he's 30, I don't care if he's 40, I don't care if he's 50, he's gonna be fucking happy. He's gonna be doing cartwheels. He's gonna be like, listen, I got luxury vehicles, I got a home, I got a second home I rent out, I got a business, I'm about to hire some more employees so I don't even have to go to work anymore, I'm thinking about retiring soon.
A lot of women are doing that also.
happily?
I'm going
Look
to
at me in
guess
my
so.
eyes and tell me look at me in my eyes and tell me you know women that are successful, educated, and single, yet happy, over the age of 35. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Tell me that. Absolutely, or they're absolutely good at pretending when they're around other people.
Well, I don't get
Because I'm telling you right now,
into that.
because I tell you right now, all the antidepressant medications say otherwise. Okay, all the articles say otherwise. You see what I'm saying? The depression rates say otherwise. The therapists say otherwise. And these women themselves, when they take to TikTok and all these other social media platforms to vent because they don't got nobody in their house to complain to, they all say otherwise. So I'm just wondering why women fall for this feminist bullshit when you can't show me happy feminists in their 40s. I don't know why they fall for this career woman bullshit when you can't show me single women in their 40s that are happy. This is the part that I'm trying to figure out. Because before guys do things, they try to look and see what the guys that have done it have to say about it and how what's their experience. And guys will be like, yo, I'm not gonna buy a boat because the guys that I know that have boats say it's a waste of money, just rent a boat when you need it. That's a guy that's not gonna buy a boat now. Because he knows that he hasn't passed that line where he can afford to just buy a boat and not really care that he barely uses it. You see what I mean? He knows that I have to have way more money to be able to just buy a boat and have it laying around and I gotta pay to dock it. But the guys that want boats that don't have that much money, but they technically have enough money to get a boat, those guys kind of have learned, yo, it's better to just rent the boat, right? But the point is, how do they get to know that? Feedback from other men who have done it. Why do women not share this information with each other? Why do they put on this face and pretend to be happy around each other and tell each other lies? And then, when they do admit that they're unsatisfied and unhappy, they don't say, listen, I fucked up. I made some bad choices. I was thinking like this, and this. I shouldn't have did that. I don't know why I thought that I was so much better and so entitled to better men. And they don't talk about any of their mistakes or how their logic was flawed. They say men are trash, and they blame it on men that haven't been in their lives for over a decade. They blame it on guys they broke up with 10 years ago.
Absolutely not. As I said, I had a marriage that lasted for a very long time. Happy as a woman can be. I hope every woman experiences what I did.
That's my point. So you know you're happier in marriage.
For different reasons.
Simple question. Are you happier now or happier when you were married?
In different ways.
Oh, shit.
In two completely different
Why
ways.
do women answer questions like that? This is simple.
Also, I had, in my dating world.
Forget all the many ways. Just simple question. Answer it like a 5-year-old. Are you happier now, single, or were you happier when you were married?
You can compare to both lifestyles, but I will, if I have to
You
compare,
do realize
I would be married.
You
Yes.
do realize I was married, right? So
I'm going
I can
to
compare.
choose married, yes.
Okay.
Because
So you still have your teeth. I didn't have to pull any teeth to get that answer. Jesus Christ. All right.
But yeah.
All right. I'm not even gonna entertain what you were about to say because I don't think it's gonna help you, and I'm here to help you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read something that a sub sent to me. Sorry, I saved what you sent me, but I didn't save your name. But you know who you are. Shout yourself out in the chat. So this guy sent me 10 lies that women think men also believe. And then he went on to send me 10 things modern women can do to fix relationships. Now, we don't have time to go through both. Well, we do have time, but there's so many other women to interview. So I want to be, sparing here. So I'm going to let you pick one. You want the one that women think men believe and they waste their time believing that men believe this dumb shit, which we don't? Or do you want to look at the 10 things that women can stop fucking doing that would fix relationships?
Let's see the second choice.
I agree. Your situation, I think this one would be more useful to you. All right. And I obviously agree to this. This is why I kept it, because I said, you know what? This is some good shit. So, okay, I actually do have your name here. The guy's name is Yemi. Is that how you would say his name? Yemi?
I guess.
I don't want to butcher people's
Not
names.
sure, yes.
People butcher my name. Okay, so Yemi, Y-E-M-E, says the 10 things modern women can do to fix relationships. Stop having babies with men that are not on their purpose, that are unproductive men without successful features, And then he goes on to say, I think he wanted to say, well, he's saying Pookies and Ray Rays, but you might not know what that expression is. That's kind of just like the bad boys that are fun, that women fuck with, you know, because he makes the pussy wet. Not realizing that you do know this guy isn't gonna stay with you, just like none of these guys ever have. Like those guys never stay because they have options, which is the same reason why girls in their early 20s don't want to settle down with one good guy, because they have options. It's really not hard to figure out. Women don't want to turn down gifts and favors and resources and attention from multiple guys. So why would guys want to turn down sex from multiple women? But yet women are upset that these guys don't settle for just one woman, but yet these very same women don't deactivate their Instagram. They don't turn down free shit and guys want to buy them drinks and take them to concerts and fly them out and all this other shit. They take that shit. They'll take it and not sleep with the guy, but they're upset that guys are accepting free sex from multiple young, beautiful. It's fucking asinine and hypocritical. Anyway, so yeah, that's the first thing. And dude, this was a lot more complex and generous than it had to be, because I would have been way more harsher with this. Fuck all that stop having babies with men that aren't on their purpose and all that other dumb shit. How about we keep it simple? Stop having babies out of wedlock. It's a much shorter sentence, and it covers everything. It covers all that shit you just said. Because if the guy was good enough to marry, then he's a provider. He's obviously mature and committed and all that other shit. So let's keep it simple. Women, stop having babies out of wedlock.
100%.
Number 2. Oh, and here, number 2 is marry before you carry. So, you know, I'm loving where you're going with this, Yemi, but I think you could have did a much better job of consolidating this, because 1 and 2 is really the same shit. So yeah, stop having babies with men that aren't on their purpose, and then marry before you carry. Same shit, just stop having babies out of wedlock. So I guess it's 9 things, not 10.
Even double thought that by being married,
don't worry, I'll substitute. I'll put one of my own in there. Okay, so number 3 is restrain from having too many sexual partners. I absolutely agree. Having too many sexual partners causes sexual. Okay, dude, again, you're saying way too much. Women just need to stop having so many sexual partners because it depreciates their value. Period. Okay, on a social level, it depreciates their value to other people as well as men, especially. And also on a biological level, it ruins their ability to pair bond. And if you want to go on a hyper biological level, all the guys that they've slept with that have came in them, their DNA stays in those women. That's a fact. So no, why would you want to come receptor as a girlfriend? It's literally been collecting sperm from other men before she got to you. So number 4 is always maintain your femininity regardless of income and education. Now that one is not only spot on, but he wrote it, you know what I mean, to the extent that it needed to be written. So that was extremely well written. Always maintain your femininity regardless of income and education. The way I say it is, don't tolerate women with selective or situational femininity. The women that think that depending on the guy's behavior determines her level of femininity. That's bullshit. You should be the same level of femininity whether there's a guy in the picture or no guy in the picture. Whether the guy in the picture is beta or the guy in the picture is alpha as fuck. Nothing that anything or anyone does should have anything to do with a woman's femininity. So I don't know where women get this logic from. Like, it's like almost like they have this insistence on logicking away shit instead of just accepting reality and making the right choice. It's like they make an excuse for making bad decisions, like a child would. It's very childish. That's what children do. I want chocolate for dinner, and then they come up with some cockamamie, ridiculous logic for why they should be able to have chocolate cake for dinner. This is what women do, right? It's really sad. Okay, so number 5 now is focus on finding a husband and starting a family as a top part. Okay, I really feel like this is 1 and 2 all over again, but what he's trying to say is that women should prioritize marriage in their 20s instead of their 30s. And that's kind of exactly what I was just saying to you about your coworkers that you admire so much. They have exactly what they prioritized. They got what they worked for. If they had prioritized family, they would have a beautiful family. They would have a husband and beautiful, healthy kids that are bringing them joy and gratification in life. But instead, they chose to be a man. Because that's the reality of it. When you choose career and all this other shit,
I also
you're
paid
choosing to be a
attention
man.
to what you posted today. In my dating world, I met men at different ages, different stages, and I came down to realize, it has happened many times to me, that they are also confused on what they are looking for. Almost the majority of them are not ready, no matter what age or stage in their life they are. Either they're almost looking for in a woman for also a man to be a provider, to be financially, emotionally, physically there, and to provide with.
Those are excuses.
Absolutely.
No, because why would you be involved with that guy? If you're involved with that guy, that means you hold on. If you've experienced guys like that, that means you chose guys like that. And if you chose guys like that, that's a you problem.
You don't know until you get to meet someone.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. And everything that you just described are definitely things that you could get to know about somebody before you engage in any relationship with them. And I know this because I can figure those things out.
I haven't gotten into a relationship because I don't allow that in my life. If that's not what I would actually get into a relationship with.
I'm not sure.
That's the steps where you trying to meet and get to know what somebody is looking for.
So where are you? I'm confused. So what is the point they're trying to make with that? How does that affect you? If you're telling me that there's guys out there that exist like that.
That's where it stops when I get to know that's what they're looking for.
Hold on. What the fuck does that have to do with you? And what does that have to do with relationships? Those are just guys that aren't compatible then. And women don't even see guys like that. Guys like that are invisible. So the only way a guy like that would be visible is if somehow he was good looking enough for her to be attracted to him, and then she slept with him and now she's upset because he's not successful and knows what he wants to do.
You sit in a first date, and that's what initially you talk about, and that's where it ends. That's all for me.
So I'm confused. You're trying to say that you're single because guys don't know what they want at any age? That doesn't make sense. There's guys that are getting married. So obviously there are guys that want to get married and know what they want. So you're telling me you only attract guys that are confused about what they want to do with life?
Majority,
but or they're just telling you,
actively going out
or they're just telling you that, hey, it's the first date. Why the fuck are we talking about relationships? Because I don't know about that right now. That's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't mean like you're trying to get all this information out of guys that you just met.
I date with purpose.
Okay, let me explain to you why women thinking like that doesn't work. So we're gonna put a timeout on his list, and I'm gonna have to give you some more free game that I shouldn't have to explain to grown women, but I often do because they spent their entire lives ignoring what men think and want, which is why you don't understand what it means when men say things. You misinterpret it, which is women are great at this. They misinterpret what they experience and what they hear, and they come up with their own explanation for it, their own reasoning for it. When you're ambushing guys on a first or second date and talking about, so what are your plans? What do you want to do with a relationship? And when do you want to get married? All this kind of shit. You're over here acting like, let me finish because I see you about to cut me off and not get it. All right? The women are thinking like, oh, he's avoiding commitment, or he doesn't know what he wants, or he's confused. And no, what happened is you already wasted your youth. Okay, and now the clock is ticking. So now you're trying to rush him into. Let me finish. You're trying to rush him into these topics, and he's looking at you the same way he would have been looking at a woman 10 years previously that he just met. This is our first date. We're here because I want to fuck you, and already you're talking about relationship and all this other shit, trying to screen me to try to see if you're gonna continue to see me because I'm gonna guarantee you some type of relationship. But yet, that would not have been your attitude or your momentum had you been 20-something. If you were 25 or 26, you would not have went on a date with a guy and be like, you plan to get married and you want to have children? And this is what women do, because you're thinking about you and what you want. You're thinking, I'm done with playing games. I'm tired of fuck boys. I'm tired of bad boys. I want something serious. And I'm dating with a purpose. Exactly. You guys are just throwing around catchphrases to try to justify your behavior that isn't, hold on, that isn't fair, okay? Hold on. It's selfish, it's unrealistic, and more importantly, it's not going to work. It's not even effective. But this is what women do. They start dating with this attitude now. After they're 35, 36 or whatever, now they're dating with an attitude. They're bringing an attitude to dinner. They're bringing an attitude to drinks. They're bringing a don't waste my time attitude. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna tell you absolutely why that's wrong. And it's always not only gonna work, you're actually eliminating the guys that could have possibly been the one to save you. Because that's what you're looking for.
Save me?
Oh yeah, what you're looking for.
Save me from what exactly?
What you're looking for at that point in your life is you're looking for a buzzer beater. You're trying to win the game at the last minute. You've been losing up until this point, and now you're trying to throw a winning shot in, right? So you're looking for a guy that's gonna save you from having to accept that you failed at dating, and now time is up. So you're putting all this pressure on this person, and it's unfair because you're taking out your frustration on all the other guys that you've dated in the past on this new guy that you just met. And you're expecting him to make it all right. You're expecting him to make up for all this time and all this energy and all this emotion that you wasted on all these other guys that you did not treat like that on the first date. So the point I'm trying to make is, if that's the way that you're gonna go at 35, 36, 40, if that's the attitude you're gonna have dating, you needed to have had that attitude at 21 when you first started dating. When you first started dating,
fine until I'm 35.
Exactly.
You know, I did everything right. I have no regrets.
Listen.
At this point, I'm not.
I'm just telling you why. I'm just telling you why this shit doesn't work. I'm telling you why so many women have the same attitude and the same mentality, and they're not getting the results. Because when you come if you come like that, acting like that to a guy, this is what he's gonna think to himself. First of all, he's obviously was good enough to get on a date with you. So that means it's not like he's undateable, right? And he's not unfuckable. So what he's gonna do is say, okay, this chick is already trying to put all the pressure on me.
No, absolutely not. When you ask somebody what they look for in a woman, in a partner, how is that
Listen,
pressure?
I'm trying to help you here. I'm 40 years old. I have a penis. I know what men think. Okay? So I'm trying to help you here. Stop rebuttaling and stop negating, because you're not gonna gain anything. You're gonna have the same mentality. You're gonna get the same results as all those other women. So I'm trying to help you here. So now you're coming into this dating with a purpose. Okay, dating with a purpose is putting pressure on men you just met. Period. That's not up for debate. You're trying to decide what things mean in your head. No. First of all, you're trying to get the guy. You control your vagina. That's what you control access to. The man is who controls access to relationships. So if you're actually dating with a purpose, it's not a vagina market. It's a penis market, because the men are the ones that decide about the purpose part. Okay, casual sex is not purpose. That's all you can decide. All you can decide is when and if sex takes place. That's all you can decide. And that's not purposeful. The only purpose in having sex is having babies. That's it. So all that purpose that you're talking about, the man is the gatekeeper to that. So you might want to adjust your attitude on whose opinion and definition of words matter. What he thinks and believes is what matters now, because you need his compliance for what you want. So when you go into there talking like that, it is absolutely putting pressure on a man, and it's also putting accountability on him for what other men did. So those other men didn't have to have a purpose. They didn't have to give you purpose. Those other men didn't have to give you marriage. Those other men didn't have to give you long-term commitment. But yet you're basically telling this guy, hey, listen, I'm only here because I want purpose. I want all of these things. That's not fair. So even though that's what you want in your little heart and your little head, you bet not verbalize that. Especially not on the first 1, 2, 3, 4 dates. I'm telling you right now, you're sabotaging yourself. Just like a man going on a date and saying, yo, so what's up? We gonna fuck after this or what? Because I'm here to fuck. I'm dating for a fuck purpose. If a guy came out and said that to you, like, hey, oh, waiter, time out. Before we order anything, are we fucking? Because that's my purpose. I'm here with a purpose. How would you feel? You'd be like, yo, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on this. I'm fucking out of here. And I know that because that's exactly how women respond when you bring up sex very early and basically ask them, like, listen, let me know right now, are you interested in giving me sex? Because if not, I don't even want to waste any more of my time. That's the exact same thing as you saying, I'm dating with a purpose. Because you're really saying, I'm only here because I want a relationship. You're going to give me a relationship? You're going to give me commitment? That's exactly the same thing. So now that we've established that, you need to turn that the fuck down if you want these guys to stop doing one or two things, which is either getting the fuck out of there immediately or just telling you whatever you want to hear and then fucking you and getting the fuck out of there. Because that's what happens. And then what do women do when that happens? They blame guys. Oh, men are trash and men keep doing this and men keep doing that. Not realizing that that guy might have actually stayed around and built a relationship with you if you didn't pressure him to. The same way that when that girl excuses herself on the table and says, oh no, I don't know who you think you're talking to. You're not gonna tell me that you're here to fuck. I'm out of here. You don't talk to me like that. That same girl might have slept with you if you didn't say that right away. So hello, patience. Because a lot of times when those guys have that attitude, it's because other women have wasted their time. And you're having this attitude as what? You feel other men have wasted your time. But does that woman deserve for you to treat her like that simply because other women went on several dates with you and didn't sleep with you? That has nothing to do with her. Has nothing to do with her. So you taking it out on her, she doesn't deserve it. Well, guess what? Other guys didn't sleep with you and then leave. Other guys did not commit to you. Other guys didn't lie to you. Other guys didn't cheat on you. He didn't. Other guys did. So you can't take it out on him is what I'm trying to say if you don't expect him to just get up and leave because you're being too forceful, you're being too forward, you're being too aggressive. So that's how that dating with a purpose shit goes. So women need to learn how to change their fucking vocab. Because men know what terms to use around women and what terms to use amongst ourselves. Amongst ourselves, we can say what we want to say and we get it. But around women, we have to use different terminology. Well, guess what? Women need to start doing the same fucking thing. Also, men know what things to talk about and what things not to talk about as not to turn a woman off so that she's not going to sleep with them. Women do not know this. Women will talk about all the wrong topics and then a guy in his head will be thinking, you know what? I'm just gonna fuck this bitch. Because the bill was $70-something. She wasted 2 hours of my time already. And she's already talking about a second date. And she doesn't seem like she's putting out this date. So that means I'm gonna have to spend more time and more money, but I'm already invested. So I could walk away now and waste the time and money that I did, or I could stomach one more fucking date with this chick and then sleep with her. And then after that, I'm not spending any more time or money to sleep with her. And if she stops sleeping with me, fine. That's how guys think. I'm just being honest with you.
That's actually looking to connect to someone.
Well, see, this is when women have to start looking at themselves. Mm-hmm. This is the part when what you think you want in a guy, what you think is good enough for you, you might not be good enough for him. Because women be like, again, focus on the words that you're using, because the words that you're using say a lot about the thoughts in your fucking head. And it starts in the head. So if your thinking is flawed, your speech is going to be flawed, and then your reality is going to be flawed. So you're already using the wrong terms, which leads me to believe that you're thinking wrong. Because you just said, well, where are the guys that want commitment? Whoa, time the fuck out. There is no place where the guys want commitment. There's no type of guys that want commitment. It's the female's behavior, personality, looks, attitude, value, all combined that makes a guy the guy that wants commitment. So if guys don't want commitment, the problem isn't the guy. The problem is the female that's interested in commitment from that guy. Hello. Again, to make this real simple to understand, all we have to do is turn the tables and put women in that same position. There is no, we're all the type of girls that put out. We're the type of girls that have sex with guys. What the fuck are you talking about? That's all women. It's not about the type of woman whether or not she's gonna have sex. It's about the guy. Is that a guy that she's attracted to? Is that a guy that makes her pussy wet? Hello. So all of that, where are the girls that put out? Because none of these girls seem to put out. No, it's a motherfucker, they don't fuck you. Those girls are having sex. They're just not having sex with you. Okay? I had to explain that to some young boy earlier today talking about, yeah, that's right, these women are all disrespectful. That's why that happened. I don't understand how you should know that already. It's like, time out. It's not that women are just disrespectful. It's that they don't respect you. There's a difference between a woman just being a disrespectful bitch and her just not respecting you. Big fucking difference. Okay? There's also a difference between a woman that just doesn't cook for men and a woman that just doesn't cook for you. If I'm interacting with a woman, I don't care if we have a relationship or we're just having sex. If I'm on my way over there and I say I'm hungry, the next thing that she says better be, well, I have this, this, and this, and this. Would you like me to make you something? I don't care if we're just sleeping together. To me, that has nothing to do with it. If a woman is telling you I only cook for my man or something like that, what she's trying to say is that you're not of the caliber that I even respect you like a man, because if that was the case, I would cook for you just because you're a man that's hungry and I'm being a good host. Now, with that being said, if there was something that needed to be done there by a man, I would do that regardless of if it's my wife or my girlfriend or just some girl I'm sleeping with. To that doesn't dictate my masculinity. That's nothing. Something needs to be screwed in, I'm gonna screw it in. What's the big deal? Right? So this shit goes both ways. So fix your thinking so that we can fix your vocabulary, so that we can fix your results. Stop saying what is wrong with the men. Stop saying where are the men that want commitment, and start saying to yourself, how do I become a woman that men want to commit to? It's really that simple, because there's plenty of women who the agreement was, oh, we're just going to be having casual sex, and then end up turning into a relationship. And you know why? Because there was something about that woman that he just wasn't trying to let go. Something about that woman, he was like, listen, I'm going to keep this one. He already had access to the sex. He didn't have to put commitment in. He had options. But there was something about this woman, he was like, I'm going to lock this one down. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Just like there's plenty of guys where women were like, I'm not sleeping with no guy on the first date, and I'm not. And next thing you know, she's like, I don't know, girl, I just took his dick out of my mouth. I don't even know what happened. I don't know what happened. There's something about that guy. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, okay, so let's finish this list here. Let's see if we can rehabilitate you. All right. What number were we on? We were on, prioritizing families in the 20s and the 30s, which should be common sense to women, because you can go to school and focus on business at any age. You can't find the best option for a husband and have children at any age. Jesus Christ, boy, they need fathers in the house. All right, number 6 is study your man before sleeping with him. This is kind of what I was just telling you about. Don't tell me guys aren't ambitious and don't know what they want, all this other kind of stuff later. All right, be supportive of your man as long as he is taking action and he is heading in the right direction. Okay, well, I agree with this, but the way he said it was like, I don't know. I agree with what he's saying, I just don't agree with the way he said it. The way he said it was super weak. Like the way he said it to me it sounds like the male equivalent of when women say, accept me as I am. Like you're supposed to just take a chick because she's fat, or just take a chick because she's lazy and whatever. It's like, no, I don't have to just accept you how you are. So, and a woman doesn't have to just like be supportive. But what I will say is, don't be in a relationship with a man if you're not gonna do what needs to be done as a woman. I try to tell chicks all the time, you don't decide whether or not you follow your man. You don't decide whether or not you respect your man. You don't decide whether or not you support your man. What you decide is, who's your man? That's the decision you get to make. It's the same thing at work. You don't get to decide whether or not you listen to your boss. You don't decide whether or not you respect your boss. Like, that's not the decision you get to make. You get to decide who's your boss. That's the choice you make. Once you take that job, you do what the fuck you're told, when you're told, how you're told. That's that. And this is what modern women don't understand. They think that they could be selective. They think they could listen to their man when they agree with him. Like, if you agreed with him all the time, he wouldn't have to tell you to do shit. You would already know and already been thinking to do that. Duh. So if you're not gonna follow as a woman, then you shouldn't want a man in a like you shouldn't expect to be a man. But that's just because the gender roles are all fucked up and the roles that's just because the kids don't know shit about relationships. Anyway, so be supportive of your man as long as he's taking action. I don't know about that, because that sounds like you could be a fucking loser and expect to still get the full support from your girl because I'm trying. I don't know about that. Winners deserve women. So that's another reason why I don't like that statement that he made, is because it assumes that all men are entitled to a woman just because. It doesn't work that way. All right, the next one is stay fit and exercise regularly. I agree 100%. Okay, number 9 is give a lady Give a lady and wholesome image instead of. Okay, I think what he's trying. Okay, that's supposed to be one word. Okay, give a ladylike and wholesome image. I think there's some structural issues with this sentence, but instead of a hypersexual and porn star look on your social media channels.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this guy's stuff, man. It's like, I agree with what he's trying to say, but the way he says it sounds so fucking weak. You know what I mean? Like, if a female was to be reading this, she'd have a hard time being receptive to it because it sounds like it's coming from a guy that's being rejected and passed up because he's inadequate. Yeah, and then it's like, even if I was to go back to the title, 10 things modern women can do to fix relationships. It's like, after reading a lot of the way that he wrote these, it comes off as like, you want women to change so that men that aren't good enough can now have a chance. You see what I mean? It's like, you gotta write this shit from a more dominant perspective. Like, it's coming from it's like a loser's writing this article. Like, this is why I don't have a girlfriend and relationships are hard, because, you know, it just doesn't seem like a leader is writing this, is what I'm trying to say. So give a lady, dude, why would you? Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna phrase it the way it needs to be phrased. Women need to have a respectable, classy, ladylike demeanor. And obviously, if they have a social media, it needs to be classy. If not, they're not relationship material. That's what it sounds like to me. Because
do you agree with that?
Because this is not something that modern women need to stop doing. This is something that the women who are doing this disqualifies them for a relationship. That's what it is. Like, women who do this are disqualified from a serious relationship with a valuable dude. That's what this is. This isn't modern women need to stop. Like, there are modern women that are ladylike. There are modern women who don't look like porn stars and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a common modern woman issue. This is just what some chicks are doing, and those aren't chicks you wife. Like, what the fuck? This isn't, like, for me, this isn't even something.
You can't generalize.
Right. Like, this, like, for me, this isn't even something like the women should be concerned with. This is something that men should just be avoiding. If this is what a chick does, that's not
let it be.
Right, that chick is not an option. Okay, number 10. Be submissive and non-confrontational to men who lead and who are. I don't know why these are written from such a loser, like this is loser handwriting. Like, like, if you gotta tell a woman to be submissive, she shouldn't be your. Anyway, yes, women should be submissive to men in relationships, and they shouldn't be confrontational. And I don't know what's all this be submissive and non-confrontational to men who lead. Like, no. You shouldn't be confrontational to any men, regardless if they're productive or if they lead. And it sounds like he's the one saying that he leads. But, all right, I'm done with this list because I can't read it the way it was written. But yeah, anyway, that just brings it back to what I was saying about selective submission. Women need to stop thinking that submission is something they could turn on and off. And they need to stop thinking that being feminine is something that they could turn on and off. And also being cooperative. Like, none of these are things that should be turned on and off. These are things that should be consistent across the board. And when women act like they have to be these things to get things done, it's bullshit. Because women actually get more done by being pleasant and feminine. They get people to do more things for them, and also these aren't things that you could just turn on and off anyway. These are subconscious behaviors. These are just the way that you've developed to be. It's not like a decision, like, should I wear a coat today or not? It's not like that. Like, you can't be a submissive person, women, and say, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and be a little bit more dominant today. And that's why I don't.
Also in your character, you know.
Right, but it would have to have been built into that character.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I don't like when people tell guys, just be confident. Just be confident, bro. No, that's not how that works. You don't just decide to be confident and turn it on. What you need to do is you need to challenge yourself in your weak areas and become successful in making, making progress. And then that's what's gonna develop the confidence. So I wouldn't tell guys, yo, just be confident, bro. I will tell guys, build confidence. You need to make it, and I'll help you. I'll give you the recipe so you can go home and you can go bake up some confidence. And I'm not going to tell somebody be confident because it doesn't,
You can.
right, it doesn't work that way.
It's not a switch.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with females. You don't just be cooperative. They have to learn how to be cooperative. And they have to learn how to be submissive. And unfortunately, it takes a particular type of guy to teach that. And what's happening is it's a makeup course because it should have been taught to them when they were girls by their fathers and by their uncles and by their grandfathers. And it should have mostly have been taught in example. It's not about necessarily fathers sitting daughters down and saying, okay, so listen, daughter, this is how you be cooperative, and this is how you
It's a cultural thing also.
Right. It's the interaction between the mother and the father when the girl's growing up that she witnesses, where she learns her role and how to behave through imitating her mother's behavior, her older sister's behavior, her aunt's behavior, her grandmother's behavior. So when a guy has to teach this later on in life, it takes a skilled guy to teach, just like it takes a skilled person to be a teacher in any field. Just because you can do something or you know of something or understand something doesn't mean you're going to be a good teacher. Just because you can play football doesn't going to make you a good football coach. So it takes a very particular and special type of guy to coach women and train women when they've already missed this. They've already missed this education in their childhood. So I think a lot of guys are struggling trying to like get women to act a certain way. And it's like, dude, she's not going to just start acting that way because you pointed it out. Or because you watched the Kevin Samuels video. That's not gonna change her. You need to put her in a position where you're giving instruction for her to follow. You need to give lead. You know what I'm saying? It'd have to be a back and forth of you showing her, like, listen, I'm gonna do this, and this is how you respond to it, and this is why it's gonna turn out better. And then through constantly doing that, she'll start to see it and learn it and realize, okay, this is more effective. You know, when I sweet talk my man, and I bat my eyes, and I kiss him, and I hug him and flirt with him and all this type of fucking shit, I get what I want. You know, I get him to do what I want him to do. So now that I know that, I'm not gonna nag him, not because he asked me to stop nagging him, he hates it, because I don't care. I'm gonna stop nagging him because it's less effective. So you have to give women selfish reasons to do things because women are selfish by nature. They're selfish by nature, and they're chaotic by nature. So you have to use that to get them to see why they should want to make the changes that you're requesting. So if you can show a woman, hey, listen, you know when
you can deliver, right? You can receive.
Right. When you show a woman, hey, listen, you know when you do this, this, and this, you see how you get me to do what you want me to do. So I'll tell you what, you want me to do this? Okay, this is what I want you to do. If you do this for me, then I'm gonna do that for you. And then she'll be like, fuck nagging. Why nag? When I nag, it leads to an argument, or he ignores me. When I nag, at least he ignores me. At worst, it's an argument. But when I sweet talk him, when I flirt with him, and I promise him some head or something like that, oh shit! Well then he does it right away, right?
Hopefully.
Right. So we learn like that, right? We don't learn from complaining like bitches, right? So, all right. I hope that you took something from this. And I hope the next day that you go on with the guy that you like, that you're not like, I'm dating with a purpose. I hope you know.
Which it rarely happens, so I stay busy.
Yeah, but that's the attitude you have. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Right, so don't have that attitude. Just enjoy the date for what it is, like you would at 25, 26, and then let it go somewhere. Because when you act like that from the gate, he's thinking, I don't want to be in a relationship with this chick. If this is how she acts now, imagine when we're in a relationship. This bitch is going to stress me the fuck out. She's going to be mean and miserable, and that's what he's thinking. That's the preview that you're giving him. So just focus on enjoying the date, being in that moment, enjoying that time, and who knows, maybe he'll want to do it again. You don't say.
Magic.
You don't say. Sometimes you don't need to put labels on things. Sometimes you don't need to put promises and guarantees on things. And this is what women are asking for and looking for when they get to a certain age. Because they're terrified of wasting their time. But the reality of it is that's bad. That's the flawed thinking. The reason why you're thinking, I don't want this new guy to waste my time, is because in your head you're still thinking that the other guys waste your time. No, sister, you wasted your own fucking time by making bad decisions and choosing the wrong guys. Hello? So when you accept it in your brain for what it really is, now you can make the necessary adjustments to get better results. But when you're blaming the scapegoat, you're never going to get better results because you're not adjusting the right variables. You're still thinking that it's an outside problem. You're still thinking that it was those men that wasted my time. No. You wasted your own time by choosing the wrong dudes. and not being patient. That's what it is. And it's the same thing with the guy that's like, yo, you gonna have sex with me or not? It's like, bro, you chose chicks that didn't give you any kind of signals, that didn't give you any type of cues they were attracted to you. You chose to spend your money and your time chasing those women. And that's why you came up empty-handed. So it's not those women wasted your time. Those women didn't put you in the friend zone. Okay? You wasted your time. You put you in the friend zone. You took out girls that weren't physically attracted to you. You see what I mean? I seldom have that problem. And even when I was younger, it didn't really even happen that often because I learned from it very quickly. I learned very quickly to tell the difference from a chick that was actually interested in me to a chick that was just like, all right, I'll go out with you because you're inviting me out, so why not? I ain't doing nothing else. That's the best option that I have. And if I have a better one, I'll just cancel on you or flake on you. So once you start accepting why things happen, now you can make the adjustments. If you're over here saying, oh, this girl flaked on me, so the problem is women. No, because women do not flake on the guys that they want to be with. In fact, they flake on you for the guys they want to be with. Stupid. Stupid. They cancel on guys they made plans with to spontaneously go out with a guy that they do want to go out with because he's happens to be available at this moment. Right? So we have to stop blaming the wrong stimuli. Let's figure out what the actual cause is so we can address it and get better fucking results. And 9 times out of 10, it's you, the individual, whether that be male or female. Just like every chick out here isn't disrespectful, you're just not a respectable dude, is what I had to tell the guy. And he's like when I told him that, he was like, yeah, that never fucking occurred to him. Because I guarantee you that same chick you're talking about won't disrespect me. So what just happened? What just fucking happened? Right? So it's not the chick. It's you, right? And when a guy goes out with a girl 4 or 5 times and spends all this money, he'll be like, yo man, that chick's a waste of fucking time, bro. She doesn't put out. Really? Smell my finger. You see what I'm saying? Smell my finger, dude. Apparently she does put out. Alright? Alright, so we'll work on those things. I'm glad that you sat through my shit. I'm glad you didn't get triggered and you allowed me to tell you the truth.
Of course, always.
Whether or not,
Write down.
whether or not, are you going to use it? Are you going to say, wow, is that how guys think? Are you
I'll keep you posted.
You going to make some adjustments?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Hey.
All right, we'll see, man. We're going to get out of here, guys. Do what you got to do. Fix you. Peace.